Hi. Who are you?
Grace Sophia Alberti.
My official writing partner. What are we doing in this video, Grace?
Today we are making a mock-up of a corset blanc with poster board and duct tape.
Who's corset blanc?
My corset blanc.
Your corset blanc!
My corset blanc. I am the muse!
If you'd like a refresher on the history of the corset blanc, check out my first video in this series in the card above. Today we're drafting a corset blanc, but this same method can also be used for stays. First, we're taking measurements of the bust, waist, underarm to waist, and the desired center front length for the garment. You'll also need to know your cup size. When I make a corset blanc, I begin with a custom pattern generator which is meant for Elizabethan corsets, but it's easily adapted to 18th century shapes. I'll link the website I use in the description. So, fill in your measurements into the generator and follow all the instructions to make the pattern outline using a Sharpie and poster board. The directions on the website will give you this basic shape for one side of the pattern. Once you've got this basic shape, cut out 2 of them from poster board, leaving several inches of space below the waistline so that there's room to cut the tabs. At this point, I'm consulting the corset diagram from Garceau to guide me as I outline where the tabs will go. This basic shape will later be divided into a front piece and a back piece along the vertical line, so it's normal for your tabs to look wonky around that area. This will be finessed at a later time to achieve the overlap in tabs. Here I'm using duct tape to connect my 2 pattern pieces at the back seam because this corset blanc will only lace up in the front. Now I'm going to cut along that vertical line to separate our front pieces from our back pieces. I've drawn the tabs so the back pieces have the correct angle already, but I need to use small pieces of poster board and duct tape to fill in the tabs on both front pieces so that they have the proper angle as well. For this, it's helpful to consult back to our outline by Garceau. As you can see, this takes quite a bit of creativity, but don't worry if it looks weird at this stage. We have a lot of time to refine the pattern pieces once there's enough poster board taped on. Once your tabs are sorted out, let's go ahead and reinforce the waistline with pieces of duct tape on both sides. This is an important step so the slits between the tabs don't tear when you try on the mock-up. Now we can tape the side seams back on the same way we taped the back seam. Notice how the tabs at the 2 side seams are overlapping. This is a feature which helps the corset to support the weight of your petticoats, and it gives a smooth flare over the hips. Next, I'm just cutting 2 long strips of poster board to give an approximation of straps, which will be attached during our fitting. And lastly, I'm hole punching along both front edges and reinforcing the holes with narrow strips of duct tape, which will allow us to try the mock-up on. In the 18th century, stays and corsets are laced in a spiral pattern, so it's important to offset the holes to facilitate that. And now it's time for our fitting. So put your mock-up on, lacing it with string. The first thing I'm going to do is tape the straps on in the back and pull them over Grace's shoulders so they fit comfortably, and then tape them at the front. Now this neckline is very square, and we want something more rounded, so I've filled in this space with duct tape from both sides, and I'm going to draw on a more flattering neckline. Do the same thing to fill in the space between the strap and your underarm, and then you can trim along these lines. And I'm using the same process to make the back neckline curved as well. Once you feel happy and comfortable in your mock-up, you can take it off. And then all we have left is to cut the pieces apart along the seams. So now we have 4 pattern pieces, which is what we want for a corset blanc. If you're using this process to make stays, you can cut the same mock-up into more pieces. And that's it! You can look forward to the 3rd and final part of this series where we'll be turning this pattern into a blue linen corset blanc with sleeves for Grace. Thanks for watching.
Who are you?
Grace Sophia Alberti.
What are we doing?
We are drafting a corset blanc pattern with poster board and duct tape. This feels like a hostage video.